Uh,
We are here with Garrett. He came in second at the OTS Store Championship. What'd you play today, Garrett?
Dragon Ruler Kashtira. Yeah. Took a break from one of my pet decks to play old favorite, the one that you don't have to think about your plays very much. Because Kashtira is very surprisingly a pretty simple deck to play, so it's nice to just like relax, turn your brain off, and play some games of Yu-Gi-Oh every once in a while. So we'll do a quick deck profile. There's not with all Kashtira deck profiles, they're all very similar because you're gonna start out with like the same like 15 cards in every list. So we'll just get some of them out of the way. The only thing different about this deck than most is I'm not playing Prosperity. So instead, we are playing 2 Talent, just to play along with like Heat Soul, so you don't like lock yourself out of drawing. We have the 1 Cross out instead of playing 3 Talents, mostly just a vibe-based choice there. 3 Infib, 3 Mourner, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Shifter. Okay, he's just a guy, and then 3 of the whole engine: 3 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, 3 Rise Heart, 3 Wraith Soth, 3 Theosis, 3 Birth. When you're on Prosperity, you just want to play as much engine as you can. And then for the one-ubs or fun-ubs, if you would like to call them, Terraforming, it's basically engine. You do play 1 Ogre, 1 Prep. It just helps your grind game so much and helps you against trap decks, which this deck is just naturally bad against. Scare Cash, good for outing weird things. And then the Dragon Rulers.
Now, what is your thought behind the Dragon Rulers?
Another thing, without Prosperity, you do just kind of lack sometimes names. So sometimes you just need a guy to normal summon along with Birth. So they are literally just that. Sometimes, and I'll get to this in a little bit, is part of your link climbing combo, you do end up with multiple like Earths in the graveyard. So Redox is almost always live. Blaster and Tempest are usually live when you go second, especially if you've already like put an Ash Blossom or a Ghost Mourner into the graveyard. So you just need one other attribute, of which all the Kashtira monsters are Earth, Fire, Wind, so that they're live, and then they can give you a little more grind game, especially if your opponent gets rid of Birth or something. They just kind of live in the graveyard. Plus Blasters, like for some reason, just removal. You open up to like an extra Rise Heart, you can just discard him, pop a face-up card. Not bad. Unfortunately, they didn't really come up today, but I've played the list in the past, and they've actually done some work, especially Redox's Monster Reborn effect. So as far as the extra deck, like I was saying earlier, about Heat Soul, we are doing a more link-based version of this. So the main game plan is getting into Draco Sack, summon your 2 tokens, go into Link Spider 1 and 2, into G-Golem Crystal Heart, and then usually an Appaloosa here. If you're under Shifter, or if you really need the draws for whatever reason, you don't need to go into the G-Golem line. You can actually go Draco Sack, plus a token into IP, the other token into the Link Spider, and then go into Heat Soul that way. So it does work under Shifter, whereas if you don't play the IP, you can't really do that under Shifter. The rest of the extra deck, I play 2 Shang, a lot of lists play 1. This is a game plan. This is genuinely a game plan against some decks, just locking zones. Big Eye, Flare Metal, Dark Armed. And then because we're on the Dragon Ruler, we gotta be on the new guy, Blaze. He actually does have some legitimacy in this deck anyway, just because he has a non-target pop, and the deck actually doesn't have access to a non-targeting pop other than this. And then Zeus and Typhon. Typhon is very important when going second. He's always your 6th or 5th summon before you commit to a battle phase, so that your opponent doesn't just nib you for game when you attempt to leave main phase. So it's very important to remember to do that. As far as the side deck goes, this is pretty slapped together last minute, but it is D barrier. It's D barrier. It is D barrier. We got Dimensional Fissure. This one's a little more interesting. Protects you from Droll and Vec Failure, which are a lot more common in this format than in previous ones. So I do think citing this going first protects you from those hand traps, as well as making Prep a lot stronger. So if your board does get wiped, you already have targets live for Prep if you don't see Shifter. I think I mentioned this deck is bad against back row, so we are playing Duster and Lightning Storm. And then Funny, haha, Snatch Steal.
Not funny.
The reason Snatch Steal over something like Change of Heart is because usually you don't want to link off the monster in this. You kind of need all your link monsters as part of your combo. So you don't really have a way to get the monster off the end board if you don't OTK them, so you play Snatch Steal instead of Change of Heart. That's basically it.
It came up.
It did. It did come up. We got 3 Lava Golem. Funny enough, I went against Pearly, and they had 2 monsters, and I didn't even need a Lava Golem because I just cleared their board anyway. And then... Okay, so this card... Do not play this card. If you have it, sell it. It's not good. I did not know that this card is a mandatory effect to destroy everything in its cards column. So in one match against Rush, he's playing Eldritch. I have an Iron Thunder. He goes Eldritch effect to send one of my, like my Birth or something. I figure, sure, we can Iron Thunder that. It negates a monster effect. Nope, it's only on field, so apparently it's really specific. So that's not particularly helpful. And then, because he knows it's Iron Thunder, he just plays all his cards in my column. So I have a Birth and a Fenrir, and I can never activate Iron Thunder, because if I do, it negates and destroys my Birth and my Fenrir. And then he flips Tikaboo on me, and I have to either let it resolve or blow up my board. So this card literally lost me the game. If this was MST, Cosmic Cyclone, or even just normal Judgment, it would have been a very different story, and I would have won that match for sure. But this card is just not good. It's like, it reads like Solemn Judgment with upside. It's not. It is not Solemn Judgment with upside. It is Solemn Judgment with a conditional downside. But other than that, that's the only thing I think I would really change about this. For next time, might bring this to the pre-release. But that is the deck profile for Dragon Ruler Kashtira.
Any shoutouts?
No, not this time. This is just boilerplate Kashtira with some cards that are hopefully make the blow feel like less bad losing to it, because they're like, oh, you're playing Dragon Rulers, haha, funny. And then they forget that you sacked them with Shifter, so.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.